Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to have a discussion about that fear of missing out that is rocking the Magic world right now. There is so much going on that yes, there is that fear you're missing out on something. It's coming up next. Hey guys, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. If you're new to the channel and somehow found me out there in YouTube land, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining in the discussion. So today we're going to have a talk just about that fear of missing out with what's been going on with the reserve list and with the buyout across the board. Now, with this buyout of these 572 Magic cards that are on the reserve list, basically every category and group of cards has been hit by different levels of people who invest in Magic, who want to invest in Magic, and who hope to invest in Magic. If you're one of those new people and said, I have $100, you may have gone down to the lowest cards and bought some just in case people find a use for it later. The higher end guys were looking for the near mint copies of things, and I've really noticed that. Like a moderate play hasn't changed too much unless it's like a card like Wheel of Fortune, whereas near mint copies of revised cards are going for a lot because again, revised got beat up a lot. We'll talk about that as we go on throughout the video. And then some cards are actually retracing a bit now and settling down. So that fear of missing out caused the feeding frenzy in the Magic world in the last 60 days, where all kinds of whales came in, swept out all kinds of cards. As it restocked, this medium fish started picking off some of the higher end products. Then we had the medium stuff start going, and before you knew it, all that was left was the crumbs in the ocean. The last little bits. You see that ship sailing away in my thumbnail? That's how it feels for a lot of people. They're back on shore going, I understand. But the good news is things will retrace a bit. You'll have a chance to get into the market at some point if you're a diligent Magic player and you keep collecting. You really want to get in? Stop buying some of the new product, calm yourself down, and go buy some of the old stuff. That's how people are doing it. I've got patrons and I've got comment viewers who are telling me what they're doing. I'm buying a little bit less of product this year so I can go after that card. Like I myself want a Gaia's Cradle, guys. It's like a $1,200 to $1,500 card now. It's going to take me a while to save for that card. I had my eye on it. I know a lot of you guys had eyes on cards. You're like, I really wanted that card, and now you can't. I understand that feeling, but we have to go past that now and look to the future, because even when these cards retrace, they will not retrace all the way. It is not going to happen, so just be aware of that, okay? It settles. It doesn't crash, okay? And if you didn't take my advice and follow some of the cards I told you were going up, can't help you. I did the best I could to warn people. Now, let's go over some of the cards today and talk about how they're doing and if we're seeing some retracement, which I think you'll be surprised by what we're seeing. I know I was. It was kind of interesting. So, right here we're seeing Wheel of Fortune. Now, if you look at Wheel, you see that one at the top for $270 that went on February 1st, and then you see the 485 and the 600. Those are all within in that 31st to February 1st. Now look and see it's going for $399 and $421. Okay? As it restocks, prices are settling. They're not crashing, but they're settling down. Now, $400 is still a lot of money. But if you're a person who's trying to save or used a credit card in the feeding frenzy to buy one of these cards, this seems like a pretty good deal to a lot of people who wanted to get a wheel. Okay? And if you didn't sell at the height of this feeding frenzy, yeah, things are settling now. You can see it, right? It's not as high. And sales aren't as prolific. They're not happening all the time. So things are slowing down. Not stopping, but slowing down. The whales won't let things go to zero. They've invested money in this card now. They have a reason to keep it buoyant for people to want to get that card. So it's never going to settle down to the way it was, but it's just retracing slowly, okay? It's good news for those who wanted to get a card. And it's not bad news for those who had the card because it's showing that the market still wants it and accepts it. It's just at a higher level than some people can afford. The price point's a little high. I found it very interesting to see that. Now, number 3 and number 4. What we have here is Copy Artifact. Now, Copy Artifact, again, is one of those cards that was never really, didn't get much love, didn't get much attention. And then when the buyout started happening, people noticed it. It started just jacking up, okay? And it was crazy to see it go up. But it was happening. And it went up by like $5, then $10, then $20. I was actually watching this one happen. It blew my mind to see how they sold. But now, even now, look. look at it. It's 127, 173, but then there's that 59, and then you look and say, so it is settling a bit. Okay, it's coming down a few bucks here, a few bucks there, so the market's kind of calming itself down, which is good news for everyone. Because if you wanted to get this card, I think this one's going to drift down a bit further. Right? I think light play, medium copies are going to go below that 100 mark again. So just keep your eye on it. But I think we're going to see a little bit of a relaxation on that card, just because of how fast it went up. So don't worry too much, okay? Because I think we have hope here. Now, Raw Stronghold was one we touched kind of later in this, and again, I'm seeing this one's actually still rising a bit, which means it's not done. So if you've seen the other ones retracing and settling, I think you can wait for this card. I think right now when you see the prices there settling and you go, okay, this is like 134 and it's 25. 25 is that like World Championship edition, so kind of ignore that one. I put it there because people do buy those. But you see that 134? That's kind of where, this one sold just yesterday. It's a slower sell across the board, but the prices aren't coming down. I'm not seeing these retrace yet. I bought my copy for 85 bucks just before, just when the buyout, the first day of the buyout kind of started happening, and I started talking about it. But now you can see here, it's kind of settling in, and these prices haven't drifted yet. They might still drift, but it's going to take some time. So if it's a card you can wait for, I still expect it to go up a little bit higher, and then drift down to about that 170 range, but it's going to take a while, okay? So depends on what your patience level is if you were looking for that particular card, because it's going to take a little bit of time. Now, we were hitting up the reserve list here. We were having a conversation about it. Now, for reserve list stuff, almost everyone kind of want to get into that one, okay? But what I want you to know is, for the revised cards out there, it was a massive printing. Seeing the revised list of cards go through the roof, it's going to settle, it's going to settle hard. The near mint copies are not going to go down, but anything in between that near mint, any of the light played, moderate played, heavy played, they're going to sink like a stone still. There is lots of time for these cards. Okay, I don't care what any of the whales say, there's time for these because there's just such a large printing of them. So Soul Ring going up to like 20 bucks for a revised copy. We can get other copies for 4 or 5 bucks. If you want to have a revised copy, sure. Don't buy near mint. Unless you're trying to get it graded, right? I mean, if that's your thing, go ahead, do it. Congratulations. Hope you get a 10. But if you just want to play with a card, buy a $10 beat up one. You can still say you have a revised list one. It's just, it seems really crazy to see Birds of Paradise, Royal Assassin, going through those kind of prices, right? They're going to settle, okay? Because they're not like reserve list. They're going to settle down. It's revised. They still have time. I'm not saying they won't ever go up, but wait for them to settle and then try to buy some copies for yourself. Wait like 3 to 6 months, this will go down. I can't imagine it going higher. Not from what I've seen, right? And of course, Fork. Now, in Fork's case, we've seen it kind of go down, then up, then down. It was kind of an ignored card for a long time on the reserve list. I myself bought some when they were like $5, $6 still. And it's funny, I have like 3 like mint copies and 1 beat up one, which means I probably had one in a binder. Because I wanted to have a playset. When I look at this and see the prices now, and you see, whoa, that $275 that was for a grouping of cards, right? So you ignore that one. You see the 114s, but then there's a 37 for a beat up copy. So the near mints, yeah, they're going to go over $100 because it's near mint. But for like a regular played copy of Fork, you're not looking at the kind of cash you think you are. It is not that expensive to get your hands on that card. You will be okay to spend 30, 40 bucks. So get a playset for like 120. If you want to get a playset, depending on what you're using Fork for. Because there's also Twin Cast, which is the blue version of it, right? Does the exact same thing, but it's blue. So you have options to this card. And it will settle a little bit, I think, before you really have to worry. I can't imagine this one really jumping up any higher than what it is right now. And I actually expect it to settle down about $5, $6. So there is room on this card as well. Do not panic. You have time. Okay? So although that fear of missing out of these cards is real, and people did jump on the boat and buy a whole bunch, I did myself. You saw my openings. But I'm going for very particular cards that I've always wanted. So I am sitting there going, I wanted some collector edition reserve list stuff. I was buying certain cards that I wanted myself to actually collect. Like I like looking at them in a binder, okay? And I do have ideas for certain decks, but most of mine right now are focused on commander decks I'm trying to build. I still need some angels, that's crazy. And yeah, I'd like to get some older angels. I'd love to get a Sarah Angel beta and put it in my commander deck. But that's, I can wait for that. And you guys can wait for those cards too. Or can you? because that's going to be the true question, isn't it? Is the BUYOUT going to continue to push things higher, or are we going to settle? I'm betting on settle from the stats and things I'm starting to see. Everything's starting to settle in the ocean of magic. And that boat's going to calm down a little bit. And maybe it'll make ports somewhere and some prices will come down, okay? So have hope out there. Please leave your comments below. Love to see what you guys think. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. This was MTG Moxman. And if you didn't get a chance, I hope you went ahead and watched the opening of our Weatherlight video. It was amazing to do. I really look forward to it. It was like awesome. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. MTG Moxman. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Cheers. This is where I push the button and things stop. And I got to go find on the recording thing here. Boop. Hey guys, big shout out to all my patrons out there. Thank you so much for your continued support. Really appreciate it as we move ahead on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed that Weatherlight box opening. And stay tuned. We have some ideas for those packs. They're coming up soon.